Hello, I am Dr. Ragini and today I will be talking about a topic HR audit as part of the course curriculum talent management in MBA. Before we proceed, let me just brief you about the learning objectives. At the end of the session, we will know about the concept of HR audit. We will have an understanding of importance and purpose of HR audit. We will also understand scope and process of HR audit in the companies, and of course, this will be also supported by a case study. Let us start with HR audit. Before we proceed, you must be wondering what is HR audit. So, let us first talk about audit. What exactly is audit? So, class, audit, as you must have heard and studied in accounting also or in finance also, audit means appraisal, a review, right. So, when we talk about audit in finance, we talk about the appraisal or review of the financial things, financial the numbers, but in HR when we talk about audit, we talk about the review, the appraisal of human resources in the company to assess the current policies, procedures, documents, systems and resource allocation methodology. To understand the strengths and weaknesses of the HRs, the human resources in the company, and where all improvement is possible, so as to enhance the HR overall HR function, right. This would also include feedback system, so as to strengthen the HR policies, and also include providing quality and control check for various HR activities, so as to make the HR strategists or to HR managers understand where actually is improvement required and how to improve those processes or the people. Thus, going further, we can talk about various processes of HR audit, purposes of HR audit, I am sorry. As you can see, there are majorly 4 purposes, or all the purposes have been earmarked in 4 categories. The first one being, this ensures compliance between law of land and company working, that is there a compliance between the law and the working of the company? Then this also ensures that the human resource allocation in the company is proper or not, that is creation of right fit between the people and the jobs. Then the purpose of HR audit is also to create compliance and due diligence for stakeholders, various stakeholders of the company, and finally, this HR audit also serves as a benchmark for various improvements in the system, as we have already talked about. And moving further from that, from these purposes only, we find out the scope of HR audit, that being hiring procedure, compensation and rewards, policy procedure, performance appraisal, termination and separation, and exit interview. As you can see from here, that is the entire HR, all the functions of HR are included in this HR audit. When we talk of HR audit, we can say the HR audit would involve 2 major things. One, identification of key HR indicators, that is we can say number of unfilled positions in the company which need to be filled up, the turnover rate, employee satisfaction rate, and of course the absenteeism rate. Likewise, there could be other key indicators of the company also. So, first of all HR has to review these key indicators, key HR indicators, and then based on these indicators, then evaluation of organization's operational HR policies and practices are carried out, wherein these indicators act as the benchmark, and then the current policies, the practices, the processes are evaluated, measured on these benchmarks. So, using these two major indicators, now we will talk about the entire process of HR audit, which starts with determination of scope and type of audit to be carried out, followed by developing audit questionnaires, data collection method, then benchmark has to be determined. Benchmark would comprise of those key HR indicators against which various policies need to be appraised or evaluated. Feedback system. Without feedback, the manager will not be able to understand where they are lacking, and after that feedback the action plan has to be created. Finally, followed by creating a climate of continuous improvement. Why we say continuous improvement? Because this auditing is a continuous process. That is why the manager would come to know where the faults are, at what level the lacunas are being created, the gaps are being created, and how to fill that gap in order to continuously improve the function. Now, various types of audit that are conducted by the HRs in the company, or I must rather say in what all areas HR will be conducting the audit. Of course, the audits are conducted upon the people, the human resources, in the areas of safety, hiring, training, benefits and compensation, compliance, best practices, strategic issues, function specific audit are also conducted. Like for example, there would be people in talent acquisition. How are they conducting their recruitment process? How are they inviting the applications? Similarly, safety issues, the safety compliances, especially at the manufacturing units, the safety guidelines are created, whether the people are complying to those guidelines or not, right. Then benefits and compensations, whether people are getting due benefits and compensations or not, whether people are getting the benefits or compensations that are due to them or not. Both ways the audit has to be conducted, so as to provide best practices to the by the company to its people. And also, as we talk about the best practices as we talk, for example, I can say I can talk about the Tata Group of companies. Tata Group of companies is famous worldwide for providing best practices to their people. Now, how this is possible? This is only possible because of this continuous audit being conducted in the company by the HR people. Various instruments are developed for this, various games are developed for this, various questionnaires are developed for this, through which people, the HRs in the company keep on acquiring and collecting information so as to understand whether there is any lacuna or not, right. Now, moving further, as I just now said in the beginning that we will try to understand this HR audit process with the help of a company. As I talk about this company Huss's, you must be aware about this company Huss's. Huss's is India's first and foremost solely HR function company, right, which is involved only and only creating and providing HR functionalities to different companies. Initially Huss's, as we talk about Huss's, initially Huss's was created with this kind of help in at the back of the mind by the by the founders of the company, so as to provide these kind of help, these functional help to the SMEs. So, basically Huss's function was to provide HR functional help to SMEs and to improve their HR functions. So, moving from there, Huss's came up with the idea of HR audit. So, how would the HR audit benefit the companies which are the clients of Huss's? With the help of Huss's, the employees of the clients would get a proper clarification of roles and responsibilities. They aid in being compliant with statutory, state or national laws, reduces unwanted expenses on various channels and analyze critical HR problems and issues within an organization. The crux of the whole issue is, as I have also experienced with many of the SMEs, as I have worked closely with the SMEs, that these companies, because of the limited resources that they have, at times they are not able to create those compliances, they are not able to create that awareness about various laws of the land and various processes and procedures that are being practiced by the larger organization. As a result, they suffer a lot. They suffer a lot in terms of finances and also in terms of the competent human resources. The good people, the competent people get to leave them and they suffer losses. So, Huss's decided to find a way for creating that sustainability of people in these companies, and that was done with the help of this concept called HR audit, which was conducted into their client companies by Huss's. So, how would the company execute auditing? The methodology comprises of 5 major steps. The first one being understanding client's outlook and which industry they are dealing in, right. That is, what does the client want, how the client wants their company to move further or grow. Selecting the best approach to carry on the entire process. Why this is important? Because as I just now said, SMEs are working with constraints. SMEs have limitation of resources. Therefore, they cannot be provided with any such approach which is out of their means. So, keeping in mind their limitations, the best approach has to be found out. Reviewing and finding the loopholes and checking every minute details, providing findings and analysis after a thorough review, and finally offering effective suggestions to address the ongoing or upcoming issues, right. So, this is the approach of Huss's for conducting HR audit for the company, and with the same approach Huss's conducted, I am taking a small case study of a company called SC Vasudeva and Company, which is a CA firm set up in 1976, which was which became a client of Huss's in 2007. So, before the company or before this firm became the client of Huss's in 2007, it was a small firm. I would say small, because though being a 100-member CA firm, but still there were a lot of loopholes, there were a lot of gaps, and there was a lot of mismanagement among the people. Though it was a 100-member firm at that time, but there was no control of management over the various people, various CAs and the assistants who were working there. Somebody might be taking leave somewhere, somebody might not be giving proper feedback to the clients, though the firm was working with a lot of listed and non-listed companies in different industries, including textile, construction, power, retail, commodities, healthcare, etc. Right, but still they were not able to create a proper foothold in any of a particular industry or different companies that they were catering to, resulting that they were not able to grow further. They were a mediocre firm. And mind you, from 1976 till 2007, this was a very long time, a long span of time, but in this long span of time, even the company was not able to improve significantly, which it could, and that was the challenge. That was the challenge, that the company was not able to move further. The company was not able to improve. They started as a small CA firm and they continued a CA firm. They were not able to move out of Delhi, right. That was what was happening, and that was an alarming thing. So, on December 10, 2007 in ET, that is Economic Times, there was an article on Huss's A Very Personal Touch. Based on that article, the client called to understand the Huss's model, and in 2008 the HR audit was conducted. The result was quite shocking, right, and the result said that though working for such a long span of time, the firm did not have any in-house HR, and also no proper records of employees were made. How many came, how many left, how many clients came, how many clients left, how many cases were taken, how many were pending, how many were not attended at all, there was no record. Right. So, obviously, when there was no record, no feedback system made properly. So, that is why these loopholes or gaps were created. In 2010, they agreed for services in consulting mode to help their internal HR to streamline the HR activities, and thus from April 2010, SC Vasudeva and Company became the client of Huss's. Now, how did Huss's help them? That is something very, very important. The solutions that Huss's provided to SC Vasudeva and Company, that there should be standard service to streamline the HR activities, right. All HR, that is, they suggested that a system be made for all HR related activities, starting from the demand and supply of human resources. That is, they started with the question, do you really need 100 people as CA in your firm? Do you have that much of job? Do you have those many clients that you require 100 people? And in case if you do, how are you managing their salaries, or are they working on commission basis? If they are working on commission basis, where is their motivation level? So, that is how they started, starting from the supply and demand of people in the firm till their exit. Everything, there should be standard service, there should be a system made at every stage, so that whoever is taking care of those things, those HR practices, activities. They go by an already made system. And that will avoid those loopholes, those gaps. So, that was the first ever solution given, but a very, very important solution. Followed by role documentation with measurable performance deliveries, as we just now talked about the KRAs. So, they also emphasized upon creation of KRAs, and those KRAs should be documented, so that the these KRAs act as benchmarks, and the appraisal of activities can be made using those KRAs. Effective induction through a process approach. Every new employee who is joining the firm should be inducted with the culture and environment of the company. Review and advise on employee terms and conditions of employment. Nothing oral should be there. It should be documented. The employment should be documented. A proper employment offer should be given to all the new employees who are being hired. And the employment terms should be clearly mentioned in that offer of employment, duly signed by the new employee as well as the company HR, and it should be recorded. Review and implement performance management system, a very important tool. Unless until the employees know that their performance is being monitored, evaluated, appraised at every step, they will not be compelled to work seriously and with commitment. Employee communication, engagement and appreciation and encouragement. Today we are talking about talent acquisition, talent engagement. See, HASIS in 2010 suggested continuous employee communication, engagement, appreciation and encouragement in order to keep them motivated. Building training and development process within the organization for continuous development. And finally, developing of HR manual and handbook. That is very, very important. Why HR manual or handbook is required? So that you have the clear understanding of all the HR related policies of the firm. May it be leave policy, may it be promotion policy, may it be exit policy, or may it be recruitment policy. Any policy related to human resources should be clearly mentioned and be made transparent to each and every employee of the organization, and for this you need an HR manual, right? And HASIS suggested the firm to create a proper HR manual and make it transparent to each and every employee. The benefits drawn. The benefits drawn were manifold. Consistent HR support was created from the management to the employees and vice versa. No dependency on the resource needed. Complete process setup was made, data management was created, on time error free reports were being created, a proper performance management and improvisation system was created with the help of HASIS. That was something I must say commendable, which actually improved the overall system of the firm in multiple ways and in many folds. A systematic and scientific appraisal process was created for this. Office discipline and attendance, that is something very, very important, right. There was no such office discipline in the people may come at any point of time they wanted, people could leave at any point of time they wanted, but then there was an attendance register created, office discipline was created, rules and regulations were created because of HASIS. Office band, layers, then salary, role definition, all these things were created by HASIS, and then this led to hiring of competent people, because when this was done, then obviously better people, good employees, good people started taking the firm seriously, and thus the firm could hire competent people. Individual employee counseling and learning and development became an essential part of the firm, right. And of course, this was the future plan also for the company, that where individual employee counseling, learning and development could be held. So, that was made essential for the company, for the top management as well as all the departmental heads, so that the absenteeism was reduced a lot, so that the turnover could be worked upon, people started good people continue to stay in the company, the less number of people started to leave the company, so on and forth, right. If we talk about today now, the same firm, SC Vasudeva and Company, way back recently, if we talk about 2018, grew further and further, became big, and today we know this firm as SCV and Company LLP. It became a limited liability partnership firm. So, this is the growth pattern of SC Vasudeva and Company, and this growth pattern could be attained by this firm because of just one function that HUSIS carried out in the firm, and that was HR audit. So, from this class you can very well understand the importance of this function, HR audit. This is for bringing out the betterment of the firm to create a proper streamlined growth pattern for the company, for any organization, and the overall growth will, of course, as we understand, will create a satisfied manpower. So, all these things together will lead to the firm becoming a better firm, I can say a best firm in the industry, where people really want to come, they want to join the firm and they want to remain in the firm. As we talk about Tata, as the same way this SC Vasudeva and Company in the field of chartered accountancy also became a known name for the best HR practices, a firm that is really sustainable, where people can survive, sustain for a very, very long time. So, this is all about the HR audit. Thank you.